Hi, I'm Dr. Laura Heintz. I'm CEO of Stanford Sierra Youth and Families, and I'm here with.
Hi, my name is Ebony Chambers, and I am Chief Family and Youth Partnership at Stanford Sierra Youth and Families.
And here today we are talking about outcomes-driven culture, and we would like to highlight a key strategy of ours in ensuring that the outcomes-driven focus and culture of care is embedded in our organization. And we've discussed before that data is really, really important, that you have to really get to know your data and bring your data into the conversation and decision making. But we also have to make sure to hone in on what's important to the young people and the families you serve, and your staff. What helps them to understand that they're making a difference and helps them to understand what works and what doesn't work to improve practice. You have to truly embrace that continuous quality improvement, inquiry, and feedback loop. And so we have an example of how we do that. And we basically start with our strategic plan. And we ask the question, why do we do our work? And that gets back to our mission, which is about nurturing permanent connections and empowering our families. And we then embed in our organization measures throughout on permanent connections and empowerment. And I'm going to hand it over to Ebony to explain how we live that annually and quarterly and even in a day-to-day consult.
Hi. So, living it annually, Laura mentioned the strategic plan, which spans over a few years. And then we take a look at that and see how we're going to tackle those goals by the year. And so we're meeting together as an executive leadership team, and we're discussing what is the vision and how do we ensure that youth and families are always centered in all of the activities that we carry out. And so we measure those through the outcomes, activities, and measurements, which we call OAMs. And those OAMs feed into our employee development plans, which each employee has a part to carry out. And so as an executive leadership team, we're meeting weekly and discussing how we're doing on meeting those. We're challenging each other to stretch, and we're also challenging each other to ensure that youth and families are always discussed and are elevated in ensuring that those outcomes and those activities and measurements are truly focused to meet their needs. And then as we move forward, those weekly consults that we also have with our employees, I have mine with Dr. Laura Heintz, and I'm talking about what works, what is not working, what I might need additional support on, how do we include families more, and really just continuing to ensure that as we're looking at the goals, if we need to reassess and redirect them, that we have space to be able to do that.
And Ebony just gave an example of what I mean by accountability at every level. And so it's accountability by staff and department, manager, executive directors, chief officers, and then even the board. So as the CEO, I report out to the board how we are doing in each of our areas, our outcome areas for our annual operating plan and our full strategic plan. It's important that you reward achievement. So we built in recognition and celebration, and that can look like what's working in your team meetings and individually in consult, and even at the broader meetings, like all staffs where we give recognitions, and at the board where we provide mission moments. And then we make sure to focus on those areas that we've been challenged, to really talk about the areas that we haven't met our goals and use those as learning opportunities, and then integrate those learnings back into the next annual operating plan as part of our OAMs, our outcomes, activities, and measures. Thank you.